أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبو قاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
I begin in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, the one who has created everything in utmost perfection. Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brothers and sisters, these last few nights I usually begin by saying the month of Ramadan is the month of Quran, the month of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the month of forgiveness, and the month of mercy. I'm going to continue and say that again today. The holy month of Ramadan is the month of Quran, correct? Usually in this month, a lot of people return to the Holy Quran. They want to get their hasanat, they return to the Holy Quran. They want to learn more about the Holy Quran, which is amazing. During these 30 days, they're reading as much as they possibly can. They're trying to learn as much as they possibly can. When they have free time, if they don't feel like reading, maybe they might put a qari on and they listen to the qari instead, which is amazing, my brothers and sisters. But after the month of Ramadan, maybe days, weeks, months after, that love for the Quran that he had during the holy month of Ramadan, it just in a way disappears, my brothers and sisters. Which of course is a very bad thing, but like we've been saying, in this holy month, you want to maximize the benefit and use your 30 days as wisely as you possibly can. So those deeds, he did those 30 days, of course, he still received the hasanat from them, but we're still saying, try continuing to read after the holy month of Ramadan, my brothers and sisters. You'll feel better. You'll feel like, oh, I can't change after this. Once you start reading the Quran, my brothers and sisters, let's say for 2-3 weeks after the holy month of Ramadan, it's going to become a normal schedule for you. Because if we're being honest, most people during the holy month of Ramadan that didn't read it from before begin to read it because they hear the blessings of it. They hear, oh, how much reward you get just from reading the Holy Quran. And you can also listen to the Holy Quran. So this is a plus for people that are not that religious. They might not know how to read, so they say, I'm going to listen to the Holy Quran. But like I said, my brothers and sisters, days, weeks, months after, what begins to happen? That the love for the book, the love for the last revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it begins to diminish, it begins to disappear. The commander of the faithful, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, said, the Quran is like an ocean. Its depth can never be discovered. Usually in an ocean today, in some oceans at least, it's so deep that you can't go down. Once if you go down, you might most likely will die. So you can't go down. Imam Ali alayhi salam said the Quran is the same thing. If you go, you can't explore all the knowledge of the Quran. Of course, the Anbiya and the Arba'at Ashar Ma'asumin, of course, they have knowledge that all of us don't have. They 100%. Rasulullah Muhammad has all the knowledge of the Quran. He understands the Quran 100% out of 100%. Imam Ali alayhi salam is saying that it is so deep, the depth of the Quran. You need to be so knowledgeable to the level of the Prophet for you to understand the entire Quran. Of course, we can never reach that level of understanding the Quran, because you guys know Rasulullah Da'iman, he was talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they say through the angel Jibra'il, and that's how he was getting so much knowledge. He was bringing down revelations, Jibra'il, to the Holy Prophet Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
My brothers and sisters, today the Quran is used not as a book. Most of the time it's used when they want to confirm a marriage, like in a wedding today. If you go to a wedding, they always have a Quran there, and when they're saying, would you like to marry her? Would you like to marry him? They usually have a Quran present. My brothers and sisters, of course, it's okay to have a Quran present, but if you're gonna use it to, in a way, confirm your marriage, at least read it, my brothers and sisters. At least try and read it. If you have any free time, read it. Don't only use it for your marriage. This is the last revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it was sent to his last prophet from Nabi Adam to Nabi Muhammad. It's the last revelation. Let's say you're sending letters with somebody, and one day you receive the letter and it says this is going to be the last letter you receive from me, and it says it like the title. When you see this, what right away goes to your head? right away you say this is going to be the most important letters of which he has sent. This is going to consist of the most important information. So what do you do with this letter? You don't throw it away. You try understanding it as much as you possibly can. You try doing what it says in this letter. This is the exact same thing with the Holy Quran. It is the last revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the last that He sent down on a holy prophet. And the holy prophet was Nabi Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
تاني على حب إمام علي بن موسى الرضا عليه السلام.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
ثالث على حب إمام جعفر الصادق عليه السلام.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
So yeah, my brothers and sisters, like I was saying, if you're sending a letter to somebody, you guys are sending back and forth, it's become a normal thing, and then one day you receive a letter and it says, this is going to be the most important letter. What do you get from that? That is going to be it's going to be his last letter, it's going to be the most important letter of which he has sent to you. You start looking at this letter differently. It's going to be the last letter. It's most likely going to be the most important letter. So you keep this letter. You read it as often as you possibly can to understand everything. Like the Holy Quran, today, a lot of people don't understand it. So what do they think? The more they read it, which this is true, the more you read something, the more you begin to comprehend it, the more you begin to understand it. So once you read that letter more and more, if it's not understandable at the first sight, the first time you read it, what do? You continue to read it like the Holy Quran. That's why Imam Ali alayhi salam, when he gathered the Quran, what did he do? By each and every ayah, he had tafsir of it, what this holy ayah means. Like let's say Surah Al-Asr. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العلي العظيم. So by these ayahs, let's say for example, if the tafsir today is correct, which I'm not one to say if it's correct or not, it would say one is at a loss for who does not try to better himself, who does not try to like gain more knowledge daily. That's what it would say by those ayahs. But as you guys know, according to most sources, Imam Ali alayhi salam took it to Abu Bakr, Umar, and Uthman. They state that this was right after the death of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. They say that Imam Ali took the Quran to them, and this is when they wanted to make their own Quran. So like today, the Quran is from Surah Al-Fatiha to Surah Al-Nas, Surah 1 to Surah 114. They wanted to gather the Quran how it was brought down on the Prophet. So the first surah in the Holy Quran would be Surah Al-Alaq, because the first verse that came down on the Holy Prophet was Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. That would be the first verse. Imam Ali alayhi salam, when he wanted to give him the real Quran, which is the Quran we have today, of course, except we don't have the tafsir of it, they said, no, we don't want this. Because once you have the verses right by each other, like Surah Al-Kawthar, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر صدق الله العلي العظيم. That would mean that this surah is for Sayyidah Fatima alayhi salam, because you guys know the Holy Prophet Muhammad had a lot of miscarriages. They say that he had 6 miscarriages with one wife only, with his wife Sayyidah Khadija. So they state when Sayyidah Fatima was born, this surah came down, referred to Sayyidah Fatima as the Kawthar. If this was here today, you can easily tell who is by the side of the Prophet. You would know that Imam Ali alayhi salam 100% is good, because you guys know there's an argument today. Sayyidah Fatima 100% is good. So what did they do? They said, no, we don't want to take your Quran and we're going to make our own Quran. They made the Quran sources state, and some of it was, they say, was incorrect. They state that it didn't have any tafsir by it. They state it didn't have anything by it. So they disregarded the Quran of Imam Ali alayhi salam. And of course, my brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot punish you for an act that is mustahab, correct? Salatul Layl, let's say you don't pray it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to come up to you on the day of judgment and say, why didn't you pray Salatul Layl? Why didn't you pray? If he tells you that, you tell him, it's a mustahab prayer. That was from my understanding, it's a mustahab prayer. It wasn't a mandatory wajib prayer. Like Salat al-Dhuhr, wal-Asr, al-Maghrib, wal-Isha, and Salat al-Fajr. I never knew it was obligatory on me to pray it. That's why I didn't pray it. If he tells you, why didn't you fast outside of the holy month of Ramadan? It's mustahab. I never knew that we had to fast outside the holy month of Ramadan. To our understanding, the Holy Quran is mustahab, correct? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment can get angry at you and say, why didn't you read the Holy Quran? But there's a verse in the Holy Quran that states, why do they not try to gain more knowledge? Why do they not read this book? This is the last revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Are they locked up? Why can't they read? Are their hearts locked up? Why don't they begin to read the Holy Quran? So you could tell by this that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala maybe is a little angry at us if we don't read the Holy Quran. And of course, we're not saying this to scare you and say, oh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mad at us, I don't want to read anymore. I want to begin to read out of fear. No, we're not supposed to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like that. We want to build a connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't want to build a connection based off fear, like, oh, if I don't build a good connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's gonna begin to get mad at me. He's gonna begin to get mad at me. So you know what I'm gonna do? It's like your dad telling you to do something بالقوة. إنه خلينا نفترض إذا ما بتصلي هبهدلك or something. I'm gonna get mad at you. I'm gonna yell at you. No, that's not the relationship you're supposed to build with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're supposed to build 100% trust relationship. If you don't want to do something, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course, He's not gonna force you. It's free will. He's given free will. It's up to anybody to make their own choices. If they want to read the Quran, they can read the Quran. If they want to pray, they can pray. It's always free will at the end of the day. My brothers and sisters, in this holy month, of course, we're not stating read the Quran 24 hours a day. Read the Quran when you're awake. Read the Quran this, read the Quran that. There's a lot of sources that state don't overdo yourself with the Quran. Don't like dive into the Quran and read for 18 hours a day, read for 16 hours a day. That is not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to be doing. Because you guys know, once you read fast, once you don't take your time with a book, especially the book on a book like the level of the Quran, where you got to read every verse slowly, you got to understand every verse. You shouldn't be reading this fast. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to understand the Quran, my brothers and sisters, so that we can input all of this information in our daily life. This is why Rasulullah
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad
explain the Quran to the people so everybody can input it into their daily life. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought down the Quran so we can input it into our daily life. If you're reading the Quran as fast as you possibly can, of course you might understand some stuff like the simple verses, but there's some verses that have 20 meanings. It depends how you interpret it. They can have 20, 30 meanings. That's why you gotta read it carefully. My brothers and sisters, they state don't read the Quran fast. There's some people today, they think in the holy month of Ramadan, I want to get as much hasanat as possible, so I read a third of the Quran every day. If you read a third of the Quran every day, that must mean you finish the Quran in 3 days, correct? Of course, that's beneficial, reading the Quran in 3 days. That's beneficial to get more hasanat. That's beneficial for your akhirah, of course. But it's not beneficial for you in this dunya, for you to input what the Quran says to do in your life, my brothers and sisters. There's also a verse by Imam Ali ibn Musa alayhi salam that states it's fine to read the Quran a lot in the holy month of Ramadan. Of course, not to the point where, like we said, reading a third of it a day, that's good, but you want to read it to the point where you're still understanding it. So if you don't have that much knowledge in Islam, to the point where you can't understand every word right when you read it, you got to read it maybe 2-3 times to understand that verse. Take your time with the verses, my brothers and sisters. Something in the holy month of Ramadan that's argued about a lot is what is the time of imsak. Imsak, the Arabic meaning at least, means to abstain from something, to stop doing something. Like right now, if you go up on the prayers timetable, it has, let's say, Imsak, Salat al-Fajr, Maghrib, Isha, Dhuhr, Asr. It has all the prayers listed, and it has the Imsak time. Now, a lot of people think that you could stop eating once the sun comes up. A lot of people think you stop eating once Salat al-Fajr begins. A lot of people think you stop eating a little bit after the Imsak time. Some state 12, 13 minutes after the time of Imsak, my brothers and sisters. Just to let you know, Imsak, it means to stop eating, especially during the holy month of Ramadan. If you're fasting, let's say, for example, outside of Ramadan, the Imsak time also means that is when you stop eating. But during the holy month of Ramadan, that's when it's mostly used. The Imsak time, like right now, is 4:30. So when it's 4:30, that is when you gotta stop eating. That's when you gotta stop whatever drinking, eating. That is when stuff has to stop going down into your system. They state that it could be 10 or 11 minutes after the Imsak time, but just my brothers and sisters, so you guys could be safe and don't live with the worry like, oh, what if the Imsak time wasn't 12 or 13 minutes after? What if it was actually the time it stated? Just to be safe, just do it at the time it says on the prayers timetable, my brothers and sisters. Another thing that's frequently asked during the holy month of Ramadan is, can I take my medicine? During the holy month of Ramadan, can I take my medicine? My brothers and sisters, if it's like a regular pill, or if it's like for people that are maybe 12, 13 years old, they're possibly still taking the medicine, they're not taking pills yet, they're not taking anything, you can't take that. But if it's an inhaler, for people that have breathing problems, they take an inhaler, that is fine, because there's different airways for food and there's different airways for like inhaler air and stuff like that. There's different airways, so it's not going through the airway for the food, my brothers and sisters. And my brothers and sisters, in this holy month, like we said, it's very important to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and very important to build an everlasting relationship. Don't only build it for the holy month of Ramadan. Don't only build it so in front of the people you look very religious and be like, oh, I'm praying 3 hours a day, I'm reading Quran 2 hours a day. That's not what you're building your relationship for. I believe on the second or third day, the second day we said, your akhirah, your deeds are what gonna get you to heaven. Not, oh, if this person was impressed by me. It's not like it's gonna be like a presidential election. If you get the amount of votes, then you get to go to heaven. It doesn't matter what other people think of you, my brothers and sisters. Your deeds are what's gonna get you to heaven. Not if this person says, yeah, he's a mu'min, take him to heaven. This person says, no, he's not a mu'min, don't take him to heaven. My brothers and sisters, your deeds are what's going to get you into heaven or hell. So my brothers and sisters, in this holy month, read Quran as much as you can. Don't read it to the point where you're reading it for 3-4 hours a day. Because what did we say? Imam Ali bin Musa said it's okay to read Quran a lot, but don't read it to the point where you're stressing yourself out, where you're getting tired. And during this holy month, like we said, pray. Of course, do the wajib acts first, my brothers and sisters. So Salat al-Fajr, Salat al-Dhuhr, wal-Asr, wal-Maghrib, wal-Isha, do those first. Don't stop doing your wajib acts and begin to do your mustahab acts. That's not what we do in the month of Ramadan. We, of course, try to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but not start building sins and start forgetting our wajib prayers and start doing the mustahab. And like we know, my brothers and sisters, so nobody is scared to the point where like, oh, what if I don't pray Salat al-Layl? Is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gonna hasibni alayhi? No, my brothers and sisters, if you do not pray Salat al-Layl, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Yawm al-Qiyamah, He's not gonna tell you, why didn't you pray Salat al-Layl on this day? Why didn't you pray Salat al-Layl on this day? It's obligatory. And what did we say? The Holy Prophet Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
تاني على حب أمير المؤمنين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
ثالث على حب أبا عبد الله الحسين عليه السلام.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
The Holy Prophet Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, said, when he was asked, what is the reward of Salat al-Layl? The Holy Prophet said the reward is so big it cannot be explained in words, my brothers and sisters. So I don't know what you guys take from that, if that means it's a big reward, if that's beneficial. Whatever you take from that, act upon that. But I personally suggest that you guys begin to pray Salat al-Layl Of course, when you first start, you might not start praying as consistently. You might not start praying every day. But I'm guaranteeing you, my brothers and sisters, once you pray for 2 or 3 weeks straight, it's gonna feel like you can't stop praying. The same thing happens with Salat al-Fajr, especially upon the youth. You ask them, do they wake up for Salat al-Fajr? They say, no, I don't wake up for Salat al-Fajr. You tell them why. It's too early for me. I can't wake up during this time. It's too early for me. They wake up 7 o'clock for school, but if they wake up during school days, you could stop praying at 7:15. They say no, it's too early for me. My brothers and sisters, I guarantee you, if you start praying 2 to 3 weeks straight, Salat al-Fajr and Salat al-Layl, you won't stop praying it. And like we said on the first day, my brothers and sisters, it's very important. Today, if you have children that are still very young, at around the age of 8 or 9, start teaching them Islam. Rasulullah says, let them play for 7 years, teach them for the next 7, and become their friends for the next 7. So, my brothers and sisters, if any of you have children that are very young, try teaching them Islam. Of course, like we said, don't try forcing them, because once you try forcing them, they're either going to say, no, I don't want to learn it, or once they're 17 or 18, or once they start living alone, they're going to abandon Islam and they're not going to want to learn or continue praying after that. And if somebody tells you, why are you teaching your kid Islam at such an early age? They're only 8 years old. Why are you teaching them this early? Just tell them they go to English school, preschool at the age of 5, and they're begging not to go. They're crying, they're yelling, they don't want to go. Tell them, I'm pretty sure 30 minutes a day just teaching them Islam is not going to hurt them that much. And if they don't want to do that, I'm not going to force them to do it. But I recommend for them to try learning Islam. آخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. My brothers and sisters, inshallah, I'm going to read a dua for us. For the ones that are in need, like we said, if you guys know anybody that is in need through this virus, especially, a lot of people don't work as much as they used to. Even if they do work, they're not working their regular hours, their regular shifts. So, my brothers and sisters, if you guys know anybody that needs help, make sure you keep them in your prayers. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وجد علي بإحسانك وارحم دمعتي وأصلح أمري إنك غفور رحيم يا الله. إن شاء الله سوف نقرأ الآية الكريمة 10 مرات. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء.
أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. يا الله 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 يا الله. إن شاء الله الله سبحانه وتعالى يبعد عنا هذا الوباء هذا البلاء بحق محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
الفاتحة. Inshallah, my brothers and sisters, inshallah, we're going to be speaking about the holy month of Ramadan daily. And my brothers and sisters, at around this time right now, we started at about 7:10. Inshallah, 7:10, we will be beginning this program, my brothers and sisters. Also, if you guys, like we've been saying, don't only id'a for the Muslimin, the Shia. Inshallah, id'a for everybody, because the Holy Prophet Muhammad, during his time, did he only help the Muslimin? Did he only help the Shia? No, he helped everybody. So adhere for them as much as you can. If you know anybody in need, if you know anybody that lost their job maybe because of the coronavirus, try helping them out as much as you possibly can. Inshallah, we'll get through this virus together. And my brothers and sisters, like usual, don't try getting close to anybody. Self-distancing, like they've been saying, so the virus doesn't grow more than it has already. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
لا لا، تقول إن الله تقبل صيامكم.